flavor for your ear. Epic Spotlight. Putting the spotlight on positive goings on the real people that have chosen a real path. The who's, the whys, and the hows are being shared and given to you.
And we're back, and we got another one. But before we get going, we got to take care of some housekeeping notes. This episode today is sponsored by Epic Mortgage. Whether you're buying, refinancing, or investing, call Epic today. That's 708-905-5300. That's 708-905-5300. It's your dreams, your goals. Let's plan together. Now on with the show. Today we have Shawanda Hudson, a Chicago native with a diverse background in accounting, early childhood development, and psychology. Now a licensed clinical professional counselor, she earned a MA in clinical mental health counseling from North Park University. Shawanda is dedicated to supporting trauma survivors and marginalized individuals, creating a safe, transparent space for healing and growth. Join us as we explore her inspiring work, mental health advocacy, and ways to foster healing in our communities. Welcome, Shawanda.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Hey, thanks for coming on the show. So, I wanted to get into just the concept with the multiple fields that you've been in. What really kind of inspired you to make that transition to clinical mental health?
Oh my goodness. Even working in finance, you're dealing with a diverse type of people, different people. You're dealing with them not just on a professional level, but also on an emotional level. You just don't clock that at the door and then just sit down and start working. It was an inspiration for me dealing with people on that level, also working in the community, volunteering, and raising my family. So it's something that I was really passionate about. And so I decided to make that transition.
Oh, that's great. What are some of the biggest challenges that people with trauma face? How do you kind of help them navigate their struggles?
I would say it's layered, right? It's layered and it's not one size fit all because trauma is not one size fit all. So how individuals interact with trauma is going to be different. What I would say that would be common across the board is being heard, allowing their voice to fill the space without having anyone to break it down or really minimize it, but just allowing it to fill the space. Anyone who's been traumatized, the voice is critical.
Just getting their opinion out or getting just opening up per se?
Yeah, opening up, whatever their process may be. Because in, one instance, they may only have a few words. They may not even have the words to articulate what they're going through. So it can be verbal or it can be nonverbal, but it's still their voice. It's still their story in a sense, and not trying to add to it or take away from it and not trying to fix it for them.
Is there a certain age that you kind of focus on per se, or are you just open to anyone?
I deal with a wide range of ages. I've had counseling sessions with adolescents as young as 5. And I've had sessions with people as older as, 89.
How do you build that trust when you have someone that really hasn't been able to open up and express themselves, like you said? How do you find the ability to create that safe space that they feel comfortable in making expressions to you?
I would say not to rush it. I'm not there to fix it or give you all the answers to the questions that you have, but to create a space where you can find those answers for yourself. I would take that person's lead. So it's building that rapport initially, getting to know who that person is, where they're at right now. Maybe also journeying back to their past with what they're comfortable with sharing. Being able to kind of really concentrate on their body language to know when they're tensing up and to know when to back off. So making it all about that individual and not about me in that moment.
What would you say are the most common misconceptions just with mental health and therapy, that you see, kind of across your industry?
People think going to therapy is taboo. They think that, something is wrong with me. However, I think that having therapy or searching out for therapy is the most courageous thing that anyone can do because it's a form of self-care. So I think if people look at therapy, mental health as a form of self-care, I think it will minimize the perception of it, that it's something that's bad, or is it something that's saying I'm wrong or I'm damaged. And that's not the case. It's you really exercising your power to really improve on yourself and really take care of yourself.
Would you say, or do you feel that we all should have a therapist of some sort? Like we all should have someone that we lean on?
Definitely. When you think about business, right? I was in accounting. I didn't get to the levels in corporate America. I didn't get into management in corporate America by myself. Along the way, I had assistants. I had managers who really believed in me, who saw something in me, who encouraged me, who mentored me, who really actually kind of like took that time out to train me, to teach me, to guide me. So that is in the business sector, right? And so when it comes down personally, if you think about your home life, when you think about your mom, your dad, how did you grow up, and your family that you have now, you don't do it all by yourself. So I think when it comes down to mental health, yes, you need to have someone that you can go to for support, for guidance, because it's like you can't do it all by yourself.
My struggle would be, how do I know I need professional help? When is it that moment? Or are there signs that would suggest, hey, Dante, you know what, you probably need to talk it out? Would you expound upon that?
When you've tried all that you can try, seek professional help, right? Sometimes what we do is we kind of self-medicate. And so when you're seeing that self-medication is becoming more problematic, then maybe that's time for you to reach out to someone. The person or the people that you really do contact or connect with is not available, or they can't give you anything more than what you're searching for. I believe that is time to seek professional help.
Now, just recently, you just wrote a book.
I did.
Can,
I
can,
did.
can you tell the audience about your book?
The name of the book is called Sipping Your Own Tea. And it's basically trying to give the readers the tools to understand, pinpoint, zone in, and address their emotional state within relationships. And the most important relationship that you're ever going to have in life is the relationship that you have with self. And it's also about really defining your vision of love and being transparent with yourself of what is your capacity for love.
It's hard to really be a good, solid partner in a relationship if you're not happy with yourself, I would imagine.
Definitely. Definitely. It all starts with self, in a sense, right?
Yeah. Do you feel that maybe we don't necessarily really think about ourselves as much as we should, like on the internal side, more external? Is that one of our issues?
Yeah, I think a lot of us, myself included, in some instances, we are externally driven as opposed to being internally driven. But then that shows up when you hit a roadblock. It shows up in burnout. So when you keep going, you keep going, you keep going, and you finally hit this roadblock where you burn out, it's like, okay, I can't go any further. And anything dealing with external is really not going to help you. That's when you really have to go within. So that's when you have to reset, you have to step away. And so that's not really external. It's really kind of like focusing on the internal.
This could be more about you or just in general. What are some internal goals? I mean, because I am very familiar with external goals, of like chasing numbers in business per se, but what are some internal goals that maybe I could work on?
Emotional awareness. So we'll say like emotional intelligence, really understanding what your emotions are. We say happy, sad, glad, mad, right? But it may not be that general. It may not just be happy. It may, if you drill down, it may be something else. It may not be mad. It may be a level of frustration. And just because you're frustrated doesn't necessarily mean that you're mad. But really being able to name your emotions appropriately will allow you to address those emotions appropriately.
That's tough to do. I know it's not easy. What are some of the biggest barriers to mental health care, access? What are some of the struggles that we have?
Finances, insurance, because you have people who do have insurance, but it's probably limited, seeking out the providers, that really fit with you. So it's not like a one-stop shop when it comes down to providers. Just as if you go to the doctor for any other ailment that you may have, you may be able to gel with this one particular doctor and you're like, okay, I don't like his bedside manner or her bedside manner, so I'm gonna go somewhere else. And that's the same thing with mental health. It's not just, I'm gonna go here because it's in my network. You have to go exactly where you can find the help that you need. So it is being educated about different providers, what they provide, because every provider does not provide the same level of care. Very diligent in investigating that. But those are the barriers: finances, insurance, and really finding a therapist that really kind of like aligns with you.
It's almost like you have to go through an interview process. You can't just go with the first one per se.
Definitely. Because this is an individual that you're going to sit across from either weekly or bi-weekly, really divulging your inner workings, right? The things that you really probably don't share fully with your loved ones. Oftentimes you have people who will come in and they will tell you something that they never told anyone else. And so you want to make sure who you're able to be that intimate with, mentally and emotionally, that they are the right fit.
As we wrap this up, just in your experience, you kind of touched upon this, the self-care play in the mental health. What are some things that we can do, just to try to keep us mentally healthy?
So I would suggest like having that quiet time for yourself, even if it's like 5 minutes. I'm not saying like you're going to hit the ground running. This is something that, think about working out, right? When you start working out, it's not something that you're probably going to see right immediately, the results. But if you continue to work at it, you will see it. So first, I would say take at least 5 minutes, before you start your day, and kind of like center. Just be quiet, be still. What can help you with that is you can, monitor your breathing. Be so quiet and still that you can hear yourself breathe. Even if you want to look around in your environment and pick out certain things in your environment and describe those things, because that would give you that opportunity to pause. And then you can start your day. With that, it can lead you into the area of being able to monitor your body. If you're monitoring how you're breathing, if you're describing something and you're still, and that's what you're focusing on, your body is not trying to focus on what I got to do, my to-do list, or, I was angry before I went to sleep last night, or I have a very busy day, because you've paused that for a moment. And so being able to sit in that on a day-to-day basis is going to give you the ability to recognize when your emotions are heightened, in a sense, can recognize what's going on within your body. And then that way it can lead you into kind of like labeling, oh, this is what I'm feeling. This is why I'm feeling that.
Shawanda, where can the audience get in touch with you?
They can email me at shawanda@𝐂𝐒𝐍𝐶hudson.org.
Shawanda@𝐂𝐒𝐍𝐶hudson.org. And then where can I get the book?
The book is on Amazon, digital and hard copy.
And the name again?
Sipping Your Own Tea.
Sipping Your Own Tea. No, outstanding. No, I appreciate you coming on today, shedding some light onto this mental health. It's a very important topic that I know we're talking more and more about, which is a positive thing, because, we all go through it on a day in, day out basis. So I appreciate you. And Shawanda, I want you to have an epic day.
Thank you. I will.
Take care.
That have
Bye.
chosen a path. The who's, the whys, and the hows are being shared and given to you. Epic Spotlight.